Hi everyone, I'm Elizabeth, also known as Astro-Anarchist. This is like take 47. I want to tell you about the weekend, tell you about some of the stuff that's going on, engage with you in some sort of way, doing this video thing. It helps me with the algorithm if you subscribe and like this video, so please do if you're so inclined. And remember, I'm really open to feedback about what kind of astrology you'd like to see or understand or learn. I'm sort of trying to I'm gonna do a draw if you send me an email at info@astroanarchist.com or Elizabeth with an S at astroanarchist.com. I will enter you into a draw for a free reading. And yes, thank you so much for all the feedback that I've gotten so far. I'm trying to incorporate it into everything that I'm doing as much as I can. And let's just talk about this backdrop here that we have this week. We had Mars entering Cancer on the 4th, and the ancients said that Mars was in its fall in Cancer. And like one of my favorite astrologers says, or okay, basically, I think this is hogwash. Gemini Brett also thinks it's hogwash or says that it's just that they act like the planet acts differently. I don't think it doesn't work properly. It's just that Mars works differently. And so, just for your help, or just for your understanding, let's talk about what Mars is, or it's the part of us that moves us. It's our energy, it's our inner fire, it's our desire, it's what we're going for, including sexually. If that's something that you work with, it's also where we're ready, what we're ready to fight for, what we're ready to to go out and direct for. Mars is associated with anger and the way that we direct it. And some of us think that anger and the expression of it is a really bad thing. And I'm here to say that anger is absolutely vital to growth. In astrology and in general, Mars is synonymous with anger, war, and fighting, and we all have Mars in our chart. And that energy is what causes growth. When I say that there's a square, we say that it's the energy of Mars and it causes growth. And want to think about that a little bit when we're thinking about Mars and we're thinking about anger. Anger is what makes you change something. Now, saying that, there are so many ways that you can express anger really unhealthily. And some of us, like, we bottle it up and then it explodes and on someone else that it really shouldn't, or we hide or suppress our anger, bottle it up inside. But that doesn't mean it's not there. It's there in you, doing something inside of you. Doesn't mean also that people don't see your anger and it doesn't come out in different ways. So back to Mars and Cancer, you might feel defended or a need to protect yourself through this transit. So my best friend Nick has a natal Mars in Cancer. He's someone who uses this kind of energy to serve and help marginalized people, people that aren't really being helped by anyone. So this energy is super fierce, and the mothers and the mother figures around the world are probably feeling this pull of protection around their children, their family. It's just natural, and Cancer is associated with the mother. There's this need for nurturing and protections, creating a safe container and defending that container. And again, this is strong Mars energy. It's felt emotionally. So some of us might misstep, some of us might fly off the handle. We might have to put down some big boundaries. We might be shutting in for a while. We might be defensive or protective with this energy. We might have to deal with some mother figures or mother figure issue. Um, Also, just to say that Cancer is pretty creative, and it's about a creative container. So, there's like making babies. There's all kinds of different ways that this can express. So this is the weather for the weekend. And I'm going to go through all this in the next slides. In case you want to take notes of times, I just kind of wanted to do the slide. Okay, so if you have a planet or point at 27 degrees of Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, or something really close to it, like, between 29, well, even, yeah, 29 to, I don't know, 25, you're probably feeling some, like, you've been feeling some big grinds in the last little while. So Uranus has been sitting there in Taurus for what seems like forever. Uranus likes to surprise us and create change and give us some sort of insight that we cannot unsee. It's always a surprise. You can't plan for Taurus. I mean, sorry, you can't plan for Uranus. Um, and planets transit points that are fixed, or like if you have points in fixed signs that are kind of in those signs that I said, it causes a square. A square is Mars energy, and that energy is growth energy. But it usually is frustrating, and it's we don't like it, right? So Uranus stationed retrograde a few days ago. This point is super raw. So what does it all mean? Today there was a square with Mercury and Leo, and that means there's going to be something to contend with our opinions and conversations, what we think. Mercury is the way we process thoughts, ideas, and communicate them. And further to this, Leo's known for drama. And this Mercury backtracked and spent a whole lot of time in the sign getting clear on what it wants to say, what it wants to speak into the microphone. So we have something to say. We're maybe okay being in the spotlight to say it, or maybe we know we have to be or lead. We maybe want to be seen, or we're ready to be seen. Um, as my friend Carmen says, we are always communicating. And so we think that we're just communicating with words, but actually we're communicating with body language, with the energy of texting, with actions, behaviors, and also with silence. So we're always kind of sending stuff out. Fixed signs are known to be immovable and stubborn. So there's this likelihood of ego battles today. But convictions are convictions. And while Uranus is caught like calling for change, it's in a slow moving earth sign. And Mercury's picking up speed in this fire sign. So we might find ourselves having to defend ourselves. We might have to take the lead because of unforeseen changes, and we don't actually necessarily want to be in the spotlight. Like I said, this could feel dramatic. Okay, so on Saturday, Virgo Sun opposes Pisces Saturn. This is some hefty lifting for our ego and probably for our relationships. Saturn is our taskmaster. It keeps us working harder. Nothing comes easy or fast with Saturn. And that's why we don't really like it. It's because Saturn is really full of adulting stuff. The funny thing is that earth signs, especially Virgo and Capricorn, are pretty good at adulting. Virgo's sun likes organization, schedules, plans, and compartmentalization. Saturn should be all over this stuff, except that Saturn is in Pisces right now, showing us the deepest of boundaries and the deepest of work. Pisces is a sign of the all, it's of loss and of letting go. Pisces is spiritual, and whatever lessons it's handing to us, it's deeply emotional. It probably is maybe existentially difficult. In one of my online communities, someone said this transit's like taking out the trash. So this opposition will show us that we cannot prevent loss. We cannot organize and schedule ourselves outside of spiritual chaos. We have hit maybe a boundary with something or someone that we cannot ignore. Many times with Pisces Saturn, I found myself having to place a boundary and maybe end something that I didn't even want to end. And I truly didn't want to actually have to do it. But what I'm presented with is such an obvious choice. I have to do it, so there's no way around it. So Pisces Saturn can really be a taskmaster, an ender, something that sees us losing things, losing people, losing circumstances that we wanted to continue with. And many of you maybe have a planet or point in a mutable sign. So that's Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces that are around 16 degrees. You might feel this stronger. I sure do. I have that. Okay, so there's several reasons why Mercury re-entering Virgo is a big deal. One of them is that Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So it means our minds, our thought processes, our ability to communicate such things are working really well in this sign. And since Mercury started its retrograde journey in Virgo, it backtracked into Leo, and then now we're picking up speed all around. We really felt sort of that slowness, and then now it's kind of like everything's starting to work again. Mercury is a quick energy. It's well, unless it's retrograde, it's you can expect more ease in communication, transportation, brain power. And I find that people, perhaps those of you who have a Virgo or Gemini rising or lots of air in general in the chart, might actually find this overwhelming. And if you have something like OCD or certain compulsions, these could go into overdrive just because this transit, it's Mercury's just working so well in Virgo, and Virgo's really into the weeds, the pieces, the compartmentalize. You can get massive downloads. You kind of feel like a savant. Like all of us could feel like that. But those of you who have a lot of air energy or Mercury energy, maybe more. Personally, not for me. I have very little air in my chart, so I'm actually relieved to be to have Mercury going forward and to have Mercury in Virgo. I've had trauma brain for most of this year, and just my thinking has been in outer space. It's been really hard to capture my thoughts um, and deal. So I've been really rebuilding. So some of us will really feel a benefit from it. So the retrograde started in early August, something that started then with thinking, understanding, communicating. You went through some sort of review with that. And the house that you will have Mercury in, and like where it is like in Virgo or your actual Mercury placement, might give you a clue as to how this is going to affect you. And if you don't know anything about that, let's talk. We're coming into some interesting astrology, my friends. I forgot to mention, we're having a lot of touches to the South Node in Libra. Uh, there was one on the 3rd. So all of us are feeling really tender about relationships and this relationship patterns, how it affects our financial patterns. The South Node is our past karma. It's what we actually do inherently, or like we don't even think about it. We're naturally doing it. It's a kind of our we just, yeah, we actually don't even see sometimes. It's just patterns and habits coming through um, our karma. So it's been really hard and really deep. I know it has been for me. So my friend Nick said to me, why am I like, what's the astrology? Why am I hemorrhaging money lately? And I was looking at the chart, trying to figure it out. And said, oh yeah, Venus is in Libra. And you know, near that South Node, there's this idea, and it might not be this for you, but there's deep karmic patterning when Venus is there. Venus is definitely uh, about money and value, and then to have it in Libra, that's where it's like it rules Libra. It likes to spend. It likes to make things beautiful, and that's just kind of how it happens. So this is Female month with this nodal axis. I don't know if I'm making this clear, but it will become clear as we go through it. We have this relationship kind of work. We've been doing it for a year now, and it's about to change with this upcoming eclipse in Pisces. I'll get to that later. in another video or writing, but just, you know, remember to face your lessons, my friends. There's always a point to all of this. And if you can figure it out or try and kind of understand it, even if it's hard, it's really helpful. I'm here to receive feedback and help. And if you have any financial hardship, and I do sliding scale as well, but just to say that there's ways to work through all of this. And with that, my message to you is just to be your best self, to protect yourself as a valuable resource in this crazy world. Love your people as hard as possible and model the very best behavior in your circles because, of course, we are the elders carrying through the human race into this brave new world. And with that, I thought I might pick a tarot card just for the weekend, um, to help us through. And the card that I picked, let's see, is the Queen of Wands. I'm trying to get a non-glary picture of it. There. That's it's better there. There. Yeah. Okay. The Queen of Wands. So with the Queen of Wands, we're embodying something. The Queen, and this isn't about gender at all. When we're in Queen, we're looking at self-tending. We're looking at embodying um, a mastery of being able to protect our energy. But in Queen of Wands, we're actually celebrating our own magic. All of you are probably watching this because you're contending with your magic. There's something that you have to offer. There's something beautiful that you have to give to the world. You you have magic. And this is about doing it just for you, just for yourself. The Queen of Wands is often said to be the witch of the tarot because she's got a cat, she's got her boob out, she's got all the things. Um, Wands are associated with energy, inner fire, you know, that Mars stuff that I was talking about. And it's sort of like the medicine of this idea through this weekend is, hey, no matter what's happening and what's changing, there's something magical about you and what you have to do. And it's kind of like try to celebrate you, um, and what you have to offer and for you, you know, it's not about everyone else. It's actually innerly about you. I hope that's helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you later.